Hi friends, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we have the first haul of 2025. I took a little impromptu trip to Ulta and Sephora. There are so many new releases already. We're gonna dive into everything I decided to pick up in today's video. So make sure you grab a snack, grab something to drink, and let's get into it. I just wanna say before we dive into this haul, I received so many comments on my last video regarding, content ideas, things you want to see in the new year. If you haven't seen my last video, it is a chit chat, get ready with me. I haven't done one in so long. And honestly, I was so nervous to post that because when I haven't done something in so long, I don't really know the temperature of how it's going to do on my channel. So surprisingly, it did really well. And so many of you took the time out to comment on that video. Everything was so helpful. I thank each and every one of you for commenting, giving me your ideas, letting me know what y'all want to see. And a lot of y'all wanted to see Shop My Stashes. When I film a Shop My Stash and y'all don't click on that video. But yeah, so I will definitely get to filming that, and I will film a beauty room tour, and I'll also include my makeup collection with that video. I'm in the process of redoing my background, so I am really excited about that. I've already added some greenery because I felt like I needed a bit of greenery. These posters are going bye-bye, and I cannot wait to replace them. I'm excited about this little project that I'm currently working on. Let's go ahead and dive into what I picked up. All right, let's start off with Ulta. I went into Ulta, and oh my gosh, they had so much drugstore. I saw the Colourpop and Twilight collection in person, and I was like, this palette looks beautiful. Did I pick it up? No, and I really wanted to. I contemplated it. I think I'm gonna go back and get it. I was like, I don't need this. I have so many warm tones in my collection, but I was like, this looks so good. I was tempted. I also saw the NYX Ivy Glossy Stains. I saw a color that I really wanted, but really wasn't sure if it was something that I would get a lot of use out of, so I ended up skipping out on that. But like I said, there was so much drugstore stuff. I did swatch a few, and I was like, ooh, that nude color looked so good. But I did come across the Morphe section, and your girl may have spent all her coin in Ulta on Morphe. I was not expecting to see this when I walked into Ulta. It looked so good. This is probably one of the best things Morphe could have ever done. I feel like this is such a smart move for them. They completely redid all of their brushes, and they have really cool like antibacterial fibers and stuff in there. It is super cool. The one thing I will say is the brushes are white, so they will get pretty dirty fast. I picked up 3 different brushes. So the brushes I ended up deciding on, because there were so many. There was also really nice brush sets too. I contemplated picking up the eye brush set, but let's just be real. Your girl don't need any more eye brushes, and this isn't even all of my eye brushes. I ended up putting that back. They also had like a face brush set, which looked really nice, but the brushes that were in that set, I didn't really want. Then they also had a face and eye brush set, which I think is a great set for beginners. So if you need new brushes, like face and eye, definitely check out this set from Morphe. So I ended up picking up 3 different brushes that I felt like were actually adding something to my brush collection. The first one I picked up is the M107 brush, and this brush is meant for foundations. It's basically a paddle brush, which is supposed to help with precision in the laydown of your foundation. I actually used all these brushes today, and I really like this because one, this brush doesn't really soak up all the product because it's so thin. So really it is kind of like you're painting on the foundation, which I loved. And then I went in with a foundation brush after and just kind of blended it into the skin. As I was using this, I realized you can also use this for like moisturizers and primers too. It really just depends on your preference and what you're looking for. I got this specifically for foundation, and I think it's perfect. This is a really great addition to my brush collection. Really happy that I picked this up. The next brush I picked up was the M242 brush. Now this one is for cream and liquid bronzer. This brush is really good for sculpting, and I don't really have a brush like this in my collection, specifically for liquid contour and liquid bronzers. I think this applied the product so perfectly, and it fits so perfectly around the face. So I really like this one. I'm telling y'all, the brushes that I picked up are definitely gonna be go-tos in my collection. The last brush I picked up, of course, had to be a blush brush because they had so many blush brushes, y'all. But this one was different. I like the size of this because it's very precise, and I also love how it's angled. It really fits perfectly on the high points of the cheek, so you really could just like swipe it up a little bit. I love this brush. I feel like this applied the product so beautifully and seamlessly, and I love how it fits on the under eye. I was very happy to pick up these 3 brushes from Morphe. The quality of the brushes. Let's talk about the quality of the brushes too. They feel pretty nice. Like, they don't feel like cheap brushes. They're not heavy, but they're also not light. They're like the perfect weight, if that makes sense. It's probably weird that I just said that, but they are the perfect weight if that's something that you care about. I also saw this on the Morphe display. This is the To The Point Mini Powder Puff Trio. I was so excited to use these, but after using it today, I really don't think I like this puff. I think it's just too small to control. I feel like the point is a little too pointy for me, if that makes sense. I want to try it with the other end because I feel like the other end is going to be better for me. I just feel like the point was just a little too pointy, and I felt like I wanted to cover more surface area with the puff. So I'm going to keep playing with these to figure out the best way that I like to use them. But as of right now, I don't really like to use the super pointy side for the under eyes. I don't feel like it really powdered enough for me. I also picked these 2 up from Ulta. Y'all have seen me use this in previous videos, but if you haven't, I wanted to mention this in this haul. But I picked up the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Set It Up Primer. Love this primer. I have been using it every day since I tried this in my video. It is such a beautiful primer because it has a very interesting consistency. It almost kind of feels like a gel, but then when you blend it in, it thins out and starts to turn into this soft blurred finish. I really, really like that. But I also feel like it's super hydrating because it does have those peptides and niacinamide in here, so it does a great job at hydrating the skin. The other thing from Colourpop I've really been enjoying is the Lock It In setting spray. It gives a really nice natural finish to your makeup, and it's also refreshing because this also has peptides and niacinamide in here. So Colourpop did their thing with this release. I've been liking the collections and the releases Colourpop has been putting out this year, and we're like, what, 3 weeks into 2025? I like what Colourpop's doing. Now let's get into what I picked up from Sephora. Did I need to buy anything from Sephora? No. But did your girl buy some stuff? She did. So the first thing I got, I had to get this. I had to, because one is Fenty. Like, come on out. How can I not get this release from Fenty? This is the You Miss Makeup Extending Setting Spray. So this is supposed to extend makeup for a fresh, all-day, natural-looking finish. I did try this out today. Didn't do a wear test yet, but I am planning on doing a wear test soon. I love the packaging of this. I love the packaging of this. I love how super fine the mist is. And I also love that this doesn't have a scent. So it's already a winner for me in that aspect. I just have a feeling this might be a go-to for me because that natural finish that this gives me kind of reminds me of the finish that my MAC Fix Plus gives me. It just really helps to melt those powders together so your skin doesn't look powdery. And I love this packaging. I really, really do. It doesn't feel cheap. It's weighted. I think this is aluminum too. I'm excited to see what else we get from Fenty this year. That's one of my favorite things about the start of a new year because we're starting over with basically all the makeup releases in a sense, and I'm excited to see what brands, are cooking up in the lab. I'm excited. I picked up a few things from Patrick Ta. I picked up 2 of his new blush duos. I picked up She Left Me on Red. And if you haven't noticed, my cheeks are very red today. It's because I'm wearing the new blush. And this blush, the shade is stunning. I love me a red blush. I will say I was a little bit surprised at the cream because the cream is super sheer, and I understand because the powder is super pigmented, but the cream almost kind of looks like just like a gloss bomb, if that makes sense. I don't really feel like his other blush duos look glossy like this one. I was a little bit taken back by it today. When I put it on, I was like, I'm seeing more gloss, I guess, or more sheen or glow than pigment, basically. Patrick Ta has his method where you put the powder first, then the cream on top, but honestly, I don't want my hair sticking to my face. Depending on my mood, I'll do that. If I want a more like glowy cheek, and if my hair is not out in my face, I would do that. But for every day, it's gonna be cream and then powder for me. I just was a little taken back by that. Maybe I might like this duo putting the cream on top. I don't know. I just felt like putting the cream first didn't really do much for me though with this particular shade. But the powder, very pigmented, and I really do love the color though. It's very, very pretty. The other shade I picked up was honestly the one I was the most excited for. I thought it was the red one I was the most excited for, but this is the shade She Know Who She Is, because this shade, I live for a burnt terracotta. A burnt terracotta blush shade is what I reach for on an everyday basis, honestly. The cream with this one is very different than the red one. I feel like you get more pigment and it's not as like glassy as the red one. I feel like, let me swatch the red one. You can see what I'm talking about. Like even on the finger swatched, you can just tell. And this is the red one. I did see that Patrick said he purposely made the red cream blush less pigmented like this because the powder is so pigmented, but there really is a difference in the finish with this being less pigmented. You can just see that one swatch on my hand. Even if I build up the red, I'll build it up so you can see. Like, it's still not getting to the one swipe of the terracotta color. So that's just something to keep in mind. If you are expecting the same consistency as his other cream blushes, the red one is definitely not like that. Got a lot of requests to compare She's Baked with She Knows Who She Is. She's Baked was my favorite color from Patrick. So I'll swatch She Knows Who She Is first, the cream first. And then we'll take She's Baked. You can only get She's Baked on his website, I believe. He no longer has it on the Sephora website, which really sucks. But I honestly prefer the new shade over She's Baked. The top is She Knows Who She Is, and the bottom is She's Baked. Let's do the powder of both. So we'll do She Knows Who She Is on top and She's Baked on the bottom, so you can see the difference. Yeah, She Knows Who She Is just much richer in color. And I really just prefer, you know, the new one over She's Baked. So this is She Knows Who She Is cream, She's Baked cream, She Knows Who She Is powder, She's Baked powder. But I really do love that new blush duo though. It's so pretty. Lastly, from Sephora, I did pick up his new Precision blush brush, and I love this brush. Where's the other one? I have the old one. I love the new one better than the old one because I found that when I would pick up, this is the old one. So we have a comparison between the two. The Precision one is just a much smaller version of this one. I did find using the older brush when I wanted to pick up the powder blush, it just was so big that I didn't get that precision, you know? So I really, really prefer this one because I can be more precise. It's a lot smaller in size, so you really can get that control. I just prefer the smaller one, especially when it comes to blush, because, you know, cheeks are a smaller area. So I like to be a little bit more precise. I had to pick that up. That is it for my first Ulta and Sephora haul of 2025. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye, guys.